Alright guys, so today we're talking about the Nikon Z8, what I like and what I dislike about it. And this is not a review, there are plenty on YouTube. This is not a new camera, it's not an old camera either, but definitely not a camera that I will do a review, a full review on it. But I want to tell you what I feel about this camera, how does it feel in hand, what is actually doing, and if it's good for my wildlife photography and birds and whatever I'm shooting these days. So let's start with the good stuff. First, I really love the sensor on this camera, the 45 megapixel sensor that comes out of it's a full frame sensor, and the image that comes out of it, it's amazing. The quality, the sharpness, the details, everything, it's amazing, and I really love that. And also the low light capabilities are pretty good, up to 12,800. I really appreciate Nikon doing their best to keep that on a decent level. And when you're shooting wildlife, you're always cranking the ISO as much as you could, so you have the shutter speed, especially for birds in flight and stuff like that. So I'm really happy with the image quality, including the ISO and color rendition and everything on this sensor. I believe this is the same sensor as the Z7 Mark II, but nonetheless, it's a great sensor. 45 megapixel is enough for all kinds of applications, and the files are pretty big. It depends on how you're shooting, a lossless compress or a full raw or whatever you want to shoot. You're gonna need a little bit of a space. Now, another thing that I really love is the way it feels in hand. And this camera is like a DSLR. You have a big grip, deep grip right here, and the FN buttons are very nicely placed right here on the side, so you can easily access that if you need them. And you usually do if you're shooting different stuff or action or let's say things in motion, because the autofocus on this camera, it's a bit quirky. It's not a bad autofocus. I really like the ZF autofocus, and I'm still getting used with this one. It's probably way better than that, this being a flagship. So the ergonomy and the way it feels in hand, it's pretty nice. There are plenty of buttons, and this is something that I really love as well. All of them, or most of them, are customizable, and you can put whatever you want on them. I do use that especially for birds, because I have to use different autofocus modes, especially on this one, on this camera, and I learned that the hard way. But having so many buttons and so much, let's say, real estate in terms of buttons and customization, I really enjoy that. Another thing that I love is actually the EVF. I'm not sure, and like I said, this is not a technical review, but for me, the magnification and the sharpness and the colors and the brightness is pretty good on in the EVF, as well as on the back screen. I believe the screen is the same as the Nikon ZF. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but it's a great screen, and I really love that. It's a screen that tilts horizontally and also tilts vertically, just like on the XT3, whatever. So it tilts both ways, so you can shoot lower, no problem, and you can see the screen. You don't have to crouch all the way down or be flat on the ground, though. Wildlife photography, that thing is part of wildlife photography, of being as low as possible and eye level with the bird or the animal, and that helps a lot. So yeah, the screen is great, the EVF is awesome, buttons everywhere. You do have this array of 4 buttons here, like the old DSLRs, that they have the drive modes, the bracketing, white balance, and the mode for your camera. That some say it's a bad thing that it's on a button right here and it should be somewhere else, but you can assign it to somewhere else, so that's not a problem. Another thing that I like, and I mentioned it before, is the fact that this camera has 2 card slots. One is an CF Express B card, and these cards are super fast, to around 1700 to 2000, I believe, megabytes per second. And the other one is an SD card slot that I'm using for the JPEGs. You can use it overflowing, but being that this is a very fast camera in terms of frame rate, up to 20 frames per second, the SD card slot won't probably be able to keep up with you, and that is a little bit cumbersome, especially if you're shooting action like birds in flight, or any kind of action. And also you need that one for the video, because this camera shoots up to 8K, and I think 8K 120 or something like that, or 60. It's a beast of a camera, both photography and videography. And I love that. I love having everything in one. And you know me, I like hybrid shooting, and I do need hybrid shooting from time to time, especially in wildlife. And I think this is pretty much it. It also has all kinds of ports that you need: the HDMI, full HDMI, as well as a microphone input and headphone input. And it does have two USB-Cs, one for transfer, one from charging, for charging the camera on the go. Great, great, great camera, and it feels so nice in hand. I am super happy with it. Now, there is no perfect camera, and there are always downsides of things that they're putting in, and there are always things that people will gripe for, and I will too, because I'm always honest with you guys. And if you are looking to buy this camera, you should know everything about it. And in my 3 weeks with this camera and around 5,000 photos, I can tell you a few things that bothers me. First, let's start with what's the most important: the battery. These batteries are pretty good for the previous cameras, but this one seems to be a little bit power hungry. And I'm only getting like 300, 400 shots on a charge on a battery. So if you're going out, if you want to stay all day, or if you're going on a trip all day, you probably need 3, 4 batteries to make sure that you're not running out of juice. And that's a downside for me. I was hoping to have a bigger battery in terms of milliamperes, and a battery that holds around 1,000 shots, and that would be great. And I know that Z9 has that grip, and there's a grip for this one too. But apparently the grip makes the camera bigger than the Z9, so it doesn't make any sense to buy this camera instead of buying the Z9, and buying this one and put the grip on. So and there are only 2 batteries in, so it's not like crazy, but it will help a little bit with probably the juice, and hold you more on a photo shoot. Now, another thing that I really don't see a point of is this button joystick right here. It's actually a button that feels like a joystick, and this one is, I think, made to change the focus modes. That's what's default. And I didn't find a way to basically customize this button to my liking and help me in what I'm doing, because I'm usually holding the camera. Let me put the lens on and I'll show you. So I'm usually holding the camera like this, and this button, it's so hard to reach. And maybe when you're on a tripod or something, but I'm not holding the camera like this to be able to access this button, which would be nice. But this button right here, this placement, it's kind of weird, and I'm not very happy with it. First, when I saw it, I thought it's nice. If you're turning the camera vertically, you can use it as a vertical, but no, it's not. It's nothing here. I don't get it. I don't get why you just. It looks interesting, the camera cut right here, but no, it's definitely useless. Another useless thing to me, or for me, is the little screen, the display that shows you the settings. It might be useful if you're shooting landscapes in the dark, because this camera has the option of turning this on and have. I'm not sure if you can see, but this thing lights up. Let me see if I can show you. There you go. So this camera lights up the it has the option to basically turn on the light, and when you do that, all the buttons and everything on the back of the camera are turning on. That is helpful for the buttons, but this display right here, for me, it's useless. How would you, I mean, you're shooting and then you go down and look at the settings. You have them in the EVF. You also have them right here on the screen if you need that. So I'm not sure if this is just a perk, or maybe it's useful for some people. It's not useful for me. Another thing that I don't like about it is actually the screen movement. And I told you it moves in different directions towards you in an angle like 45-degree angle, and shoot like around the corner. It does flip vertically and horizontally, but it doesn't flip out. And for a one-man show like I am for this channel, that will be very, very useful. And unfortunately, I can't use this camera to film me without knowing what it films. And I do have a monitor that I can put on top, but makes the camera a little bit bulkier, and that's not awesome, especially when you're shooting outside and in the elements. And this camera is a weather sealed camera, very, very, very solid, and the weather sealing is pretty good, as well as most of the lenses that I'm using for wildlife photography. So having that screen on top that is not weather sealed, you have to cover it and so on and so forth, it's a bit cumbersome. So that is a problem for me. And I know this is a photography maybe more than a video camera, but the video features on this camera are so good, and people, I'm sure that they're using it for video more than I do. And having that, it's so useful. This is pretty much it in terms of likes and dislikes. There is not much that I hate about it. I've heard that the camera tends to overheat if you're shooting 8K or over 4K 120, and I didn't test that yet. I did shoot 4K 120, but I didn't test the longevity of that and how long it takes for the camera to overheat. It does have the option to set it up for high temperature, so that will hold more. I don't know. Those are things that need to be tested more in the future, and I'll probably let you know if anything pops up. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's what I like and dislike about the Nikon Z8. And you know me, I'm very honest, and if anything comes up and I realize that that's a, I don't know, quirk or a perk, I will probably mention it in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I am very grateful to make these videos for you guys, and I really happy to see this channel growing. Please subscribe, please like these videos so others will be able to enjoy them and be notified when I have them up. And I will probably see you outside next time if the wind stops, because after the rain, the wind came.